Hi there, my name's Ian Rigg. I'm going to chat to you a little bit about how I got started with meditation because I get asked this question all the time. So, I'd been practicing martial arts for over 30 years, and as I was reading through different sort of martial arts books and watching martial arts movies like Bruce Lee and stuff like that, you'd always see meditators sitting there, in amongst the martial arts practice or meditating on top of a mountain and looking serene and things. So I thought, oh, well, I need to learn how to meditate if I'm going to practice martial arts. That's what I thought anyway. And none of my instructors that I was working with at that particular time really knew too much about meditation, so I had to go and kind of seek it out in my own way. And I started practicing informally for a few years, reading books. At that time, there weren't a lot of audios around and all of that. And just had to kind of try to figure it out for myself in a way. And then a friend of mine bought me a book by Rob Nairn called Tranquil Mind. And he knew that I wanted to learn how to meditate, so he gave us this book, so I read it. And it was an introduction to Buddhism and meditation. And I thought, oh, this seems pretty good. This Rob Nairn guy sort of knows what he's talking about. And I'd moved to Cumbria. This was probably a little over 20 years ago or whatever. So I first started practicing mindfulness in about 2003, 2004, in sort of like a taught way. And so I was living down the road from a place called Samyeling, which is the largest Tibetan Buddhist temple in Europe. And there were a number of meditation courses there. And I decided to just jump on an 8-day meditation retreat. I don't do things by half measure, just jump in with both feet and got on with it. Let's go. So that was my first experience. And after that meditation retreat, I thought, this is really great. I'm learning how to calm the mind down, settle the mind, and a number of different sort of things that happened on that retreat in quite a positive way, which I could talk about at length, but I'll leave for now. But basically, I felt calmer, I felt more in tune, more connected to myself and also the external surroundings and things like all at once. And then, decided to go on a few courses with Rob Nairn, and initially started with some weekend courses, and then I'd go on at least a week-long retreat with Rob for a few years, and then I found out that he did longer retreats in South Africa. Rob's a South African guy, so he's running month-long retreats in November, December time each year. So then I started to go on retreat each year for about a month. And so up until now, the time that I'm recording this, I've probably done about a year on meditation retreat so far, which is quite a bit of time actually when I sort of think about it, a whole year on meditation retreat. But I've enjoyed practicing. I've learned a lot with that. And yeah, so I started to practice mindfulness and then worked quite a bit with the Mindfulness Association, which Rob Nairn was part of at that time. And I've been on retreat with Rob for a number of years, and he was talking about putting together a mindfulness master's degree, basically like one of the first ones in Scotland. And he said, hey, you should give that course a look. And I thought, well, I don't even have a degree, how am I going to get on a master's degree? He said, well, you've got prior learning, you've done a lot of this practice, so maybe you could apply. And I said, well, are you going to be teaching on it? He said, yeah, I'm going to teach on it for at least the first 3 years. And so I thought, well, if he's going to be on it, then at least I could try to get on the course so I could just continue to learn from Rob on like a regular basis for like a 3-year period, as well as doing a little bit of academic study around mindfulness. So I got on the first cohort of this mindfulness MSc in 2010, graduated in 2013, and what I decided to do was write my dissertation on mindfulness in the healthcare service. So I decided to bring an 8-week mindfulness course into a healthcare setting deliver it to a mixed group of healthcare staff. And then I ran 2 of those courses and then wrote up the results and things. So I was working in the health service at the time. And then I was approached to write a proposal on mindfulness, as how mindfulness could be successfully launched in a health service setting. And so I put that together and then campaigned within the health service for a couple of years, showing people the results and things like that, going over the research a little bit. And then a job came about as part of a health and wellbeing strategy within the NHS for a mindfulness facilitator. So I applied for the job, got the job. And at the time I was also teaching for the Mindfulness Association as well. So I was teaching on the Mindfulness 1-year course, that Compassion 1-year course, that Insight 1-year course. So I was working externally for the MA and also working internally in Cumbria as the lead mindfulness facilitator for this project that I'd set up in the health service in 2015. And so that's the day job. I continue to do that job in the health service. I do less work for the MA these days because I'm concentrating on other areas. And that's how I got started with mindfulness. And then I moved into working with another excellent teacher called Donald Creedon. So he's my current meditation teacher. So Rob was retiring and he asked Donald to take over on one of his month-long retreats. This was about 2012. So this is the first time that I met Donald, who, like I say, is an excellent teacher as well. So I had the great fortune of learning from probably 2 of the best Western meditation teachers around, Rob Nairn and Donald. And I've also, attended teachings with different Tibetan Buddhist lamas and things like Drupal Rinpoche and Mingyur Rinpoche. And I'm particularly interested in both of their styles at the moment as well, and how it influences my meditation practice. And so, like I say, I started running mindfulness courses in 2015, as well as teaching for the general public as well, which I continue to do. And to date, I've probably run about 85 8-week mindfulness and compassion courses combined. That's a lot. It's a lot of 8-week courses. I generally probably run about 10 courses a year. And like I say, I've taught a lot of 1-year courses and things like that. So that continues to be my style of work at the moment. And my style of work is also influenced now by breath work quite heavily over the last few years, including the Wim Hof method, cold immersion I'm into, and also like movement and mobility and yoga. And I teach the Budokon mixed movement style. So as far as my own health and well-being strategy is concerned, it has a lot to do with yoga, meditation, breath work, and cold immersion. So that's just a little bit about my experience so far, how I got into meditation, and I think that'll probably do for now. All right, thanks. See you later.